hereby call this meeting of the Hampshire County Board of Education to order today, November 7th at 6 o'clock. I'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, yeah, 17. Please remain standing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, in liberty and justice for all. And while we're all standing, if we would mind taking a moment of silence and reflection for Miss Riley Combs. Little girl's fighting for her life. I think she needs some good vibes. Thank you very much. Ms. Poland, would you like to remind us why we're here?
I sure will. The mission statement. All Hampshire County students will make continuous progress toward mastering the essential curriculum and achieving at their highest potential.
Thank you. Superintendent would like to call roll.
Yes, sir. Mr. Morgan?
Present.
Mr. Lees?
Present.
Mrs. Mongold?
Present.
Ms. Poland?
Present.
Mrs. Jeffries?
Here.
Mr. Collins, present.
Okay. Has everyone had the opportunity to look over the agenda for this evening? Is there any changes that we'd like to?
No, sir. At this time, I'd recommend that the board approve the agenda as presented.
Okay.
Are we going to pull one right now and put it to the side for the vote later?
I believe we can
No,
do that.
we'll do it in
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. I make a motion that we accept the agenda as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Agenda approved. The good part. We always look forward to the LSIC meetings. We like to get to hear what's going on within our schools. So, Ms. Haynes, the floor is yours.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate that segue because it is the good part. It's all about Hampshire High School. One of my favorite topics. And Mrs. Landis is here to assist me with this little presentation that we have prepared for you all about all the great things that are happening here at Hampshire High School. But before we get started, I have a few members of our LSIC here with us this evening, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves to you all. I'm very proud of our LSIC. We have a lot of members. They're not all here this evening, but I would like for them to introduce themselves. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Chris Fontana. I'm a teller at FMB Bank at the main office.
Awesome. Thank you.
Brian Hott, CFO of FMB Bank, parent of student here and also coach here. So.
I'm Christy Long. I'm the health science education teacher for Hampshire High School.
I'm Kitty Savage. I'm a parent of a student at Hampshire High School.
I'm Lindsay McNeilis. I am a 9th grade English teacher here at the school. I am a coach. I am a parent of a graduate and a parent of a current 9th grader.
I'm Brandy Myers. I'm a business and marketing teacher, also the DEC advisor, and foster mother to a student here in 9th grade.
Christina Nichols, parent of a graduate and current student and local business owner.
Okay, thank you. And of course, you all know Mrs. Landis, one of the assistant principals here. There are many, many great things happening here at Hampshire High School that we are extremely proud of. We have a huge focus this year on academics. And to start off with, I'm going to just highlight some positives regarding our academics. The 11th grade SAT data, the 11th grade scored 19 points higher than the previous year's cohort, but still slightly below the state mean score. The reading and writing score 466 is just 4 points below the state benchmark of 470 and 10 points below the state mean score of 476. which 46% of the testers scored proficiency. The math mean score was 428, which was an increase of 42 points from 386 last year, and just 5 points below the state mean score. The female students outperformed the males in reading achievement, and females had a slightly higher mean score. Just some few facts to highlight our 11th grade. 10th grade, the PSAT data showed we had 165 testers that achieved an overall mean score of 830, which was 10 points below the state mean score of 840. The cohort itself increased 43 mean points from their 9th grade year. 18% of the 10th grade students met both benchmarks, and 33% met one benchmark, and 49% met no benchmark. Female students significantly outperformed male students with a mean score of 864 compared to 796. In reading and writing, 51% of the 10th graders scored at a benchmark level, which was just 1% below the state average. Students scored 1% below the state average in math with an 18% proficiency. The math mean score was 402, which was 2 points below the state mean score, but we were 78 points below the targeted benchmark of 480. Overall, there was growth from the cohort from 9th to 10th grade in reading and writing proficiency. 9th grade, the PSAT data showed that 9th graders achieved a 752 overall mean score, which was 48 points less than the state average and 108 points behind the targeted overall benchmark for a 9th grader. 42% of the students scored proficient in reading, with the state scoring 51% proficient. The reading mean score is 389, a difference of 27 points below the state mean and 21 points below the reading benchmark target of 410. The math mean score was 363, which was down 21 points from the state mean score of 384 and 87 points below the math benchmark target of 450. We have some positives there. We have things to celebrate, but we also have work to do, and that's what we've been focusing on heavily this semester as we've gone into the school year. And I'm going to get more into that and the action steps of our improvement here after I talk about attendance, which I'm very happy to report. Our kids are coming to school and they want to be here. So I'm extremely happy about that. Our average daily attendance at 60 days compared to the 24-25 school year, we're at 92.80%, which is just short of a 2% increase. Our chronic absenteeism at 60 days compared to the 24-25 school year, we're at 21.26%, and we have a decrease of 6.59%. So we are looking at almost 7% decrease. That's huge.
That's good.
It is huge. So I'm very proud of that. We have a few things going on here that I think contribute to that. We are constantly working on school culture and spirit here at Hampshire High School, and we acknowledge perfect attendance weekly. We're drawing drawings for incentives for those with perfect attendance and improved attendance. The students lead in creating videos. We're doing a lot of school events to promote attending school prior to the holidays. We've got a Christmas pep rally planned, a lot of Christmas activities planned after the finals. I even have students emailing me with suggestions, and I'm all about that. I love it.
Cool.
We're tying attendance into multiple activities here, driving, dances, field trips, not only attendance but academics. You can't have D's and F's, and you can't miss so many days of school to attend some of these things. So If you watch our Facebook page, I think our Hampshire High School Facebook page speaks volumes for everything that we have going on here. We have started doing videos, and mostly come up with an idea. I'll stop someone in the hallway and I said, hey, what do you think about doing something like this for me? And they're all about it. And I just let them take ownership. They'll say, when do you need it back? I said, oh, by the end of the week. And they show back up, and of course I've approved it. And they're making those videos about coming to school and how great everything is here. So we're happy about that. Moving on to the action steps, as I had stated earlier, we had some things to work on for academics to increase our test scores. The goal here is for every junior to receive that Promise Scholarship. And we changed some things here this year. Every Monday and Tuesday during advisory, students are working on ELA, English, and math on Mondays and Tuesdays. On Mastery Prep, the English department did a SAT carnival. We're looking into a PSAT and SAT boot camp. We're focusing on writing across the curriculum. The staff had a professional development regarding We Will Write as a platform. So on Wednesdays, we focus on writing. We're doing hands-on activities in the classroom, a lot of teacher collaboration across the curriculum. We're doing more classroom walkthroughs than we've ever done, getting in those classrooms with immediate feedback to the teachers. And we have guest speakers visiting for the seniors for career awareness. So, Ms. Landis, do you have anything you want to add?
We had the NOCTI benchmark today, which is the testing for CTE programs. It's the pre-test, and I felt just because students took longer than they normally do, that they're taking it more seriously. So that's good.
Okay. And the highlights here at Hampshire High School, again, I just want to mention my wonderful LSIC and our PTO. I could not do this, and we could not have the high school that we have without the community support from parents and the businesses. So I greatly appreciate everything that each and every one of them do to support Hampshire High School. The overall positivity of the staff and the climate here at Hampshire High School, it's just a great place to be and to work and for our students to learn. Growth comes from the classrooms, and the growth that we had that I read to you at the beginning for our academics, that all starts and ends in those classrooms. I have a wonderful teaching staff, and they are working hard. So I give the teachers deserve a lot of credit for what happens here. We have extra involvement that constantly takes place with our staff regarding our students. They do lots of extra things for our students, even on weekends. So I appreciate that greatly. The cleanliness of this building is it's superior. We have a fabulous custodial crew, and they are doing a dynamic job. This is a hard building to keep clean. We have well over 100 doors, and there's constant traffic coming in and out all day long. So they're doing a dynamic job. Teachers are part of different committees that we have here at Hampshire High School. Our athletics, we have a lot to be proud of there. Our football team went to Princeton this past weekend. Our golf team was 4th in the state. Our cross-country team, we had Bailey Nichols came in 8th, Wyatt Thomas came in 16th, and Ethan Richmond came in 18th. Volleyball team went to the playoffs. Cheerleaders, Lily Frank made the PVC team, and Lisa Meadows, our cheer coach, was PVC Coach of the Year. So we have a lot to be proud of there. Academically, Kate Sutta was the 4th individual in the nation under the power structures and technical category of Agri-Science Fair. We had the National Chapter 2 received the Star Award. We have the American Honorary Degree. We have volunteers that work the PBS Day at Ice Mountain Elementary. Those were the Grow Your Own students. Again, my LSIC and PTO, Hampshire High School media page, and our Facebook page. I have a committee that oversees those. 8th and 16th in All-State Honors. We have a newspaper this year that our students provide us. It's called the Hilltop Holler. These are some issues I just brought for you to look at. We had the Pumpkin Drop, the daily teaching and collaboration that take place within the classrooms by our teachers. We are collaborating more across the curriculum, across the halls. English and science are collaborating. Just for an example, we did the MLA APA formatting because science used one and English used the other, so the English came together with the science department to help the science teachers teach that formatting. Incorporating the importance of mastery prep into an incentive program for our students. We are taking academics and making it more fun and challenging for our kids, so from the month of December, their mentor teachers, it's a Santa beard hook to it, and whichever class has the most lessons complete in mastery prep receives a sticker. The longest beard, that class receives an incentive.
Cool.
Yeah, at the end of the month of December. So we're stressing the importance of academics constantly. Mentoring this year has more purpose. We even have a calendar for every grade level this year for freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. Mondays, Tuesdays, mastery prep, Wednesdays. This is when we do writing. However, when we don't do writing, we are doing clubs. We have multiple clubs. This year, we have a list of every club and every student that is in that club, so that when we announce for the clubs to go, the teachers can quickly look at the list and we can account for every student, that they're just not loose in the building, that they truly belong to National Honor Society, Educators Rising, D&D, National Technical Honor Society, Link Crew, Peer Helpers, HOSA, Chess, Academic Showdown, Peer Helpers, STEM Club, Student Council, Fellowship of Faith, are just a few of our clubs for our students. The safety on this campus, I'm proud of it. We've had multiple drills of all kinds. We've done an evacuation drill where we actually the whole school rallied over at sunrise if we need to. Some were not drills, so and everybody, we did beautifully. Every time we do one, we reflect and we do better the next time. So the drills that happened that were real life were not drills. They happened at the most inopportune times, and we were able to account for everyone. We're taking attendance in every drill, and like I said, we reflect, we come together, and we know what to do even better for our students the next drill. So I'm really proud of safety. CT advisory dinner we've had. Student artwork is posted around campus. Right now we have some artwork upstairs in the main hallway that is highlights what the state of West Virginia. And I will tell you, we have some students here that they really do a very nice job as artists. It's amazing. We had Mrs. Long, just came back from the National Cemetery with the students. That made the front page of the Hampshire Review. We're very proud of that trip and our students' presentation there. We had the college fair. Spirit Week was a success here. We've got many Christmas activities planned with students having a say. A lot of the clubs are hosting different events for that. Class officers have been redefined, and each of those classes have a staff representative, and those officers meet and they have an important voice in the school. We have celebration of our Deaf Awareness Month. We've had, and I want to say we're very proud of the deaf population that work here at Hampshire High School and what all they achieve here. CTE is always involved with hands-on learning and assists with the school as a whole. We have a new course catalog this year, and we haven't had one for a while, and that's something that I think that we have needed. Actually, the superintendent helped with that, and we appreciate it very much under his guidance. Scheduling for the upcoming year, under superintendent's guidance again, I'm very proud of the way and the direction that we're moving with scheduling for this upcoming year. We've already started. The mentor teachers are taking on a new role with scheduling for the upcoming year. They're going to start by going through the new course catalog, and our students are going to become aware of what we actually offer here. And right now, the second objective is to make sure that all of our students are aware of how many credits they should have per grade level. And we're going to start that off on December the 5th. The 8th graders, incoming freshmen, will come here December 5th, and we will have a orientation in the gymnasium, and most all of our teachers will have 2 student representatives representing their class to showcase what we offer here. The morning will be dedicated to the 8th grade, and the afternoon we are going to have our freshmen, sophomores, and juniors walk through. We are also going to start a pep band at our basketball games. I'm excited about that. We have National Honor Society inductions, I believe this week, Thursday, coming up. And that takes us through some of the highlights of Hampshire High School. Do you think of anything I might have said? Off the top of your head?
And National Technical Honor Society will be in December, their induction. And Ms. Bradfield told me today we have 56 inductees Thursday, so that's a very large group.
Wow, that's great. That's awesome.
Wow.
As far as physical needs of Hampshire High School, well, as you can see,
We're
if you
working
look
on that
up,
one.
I know. I wasn't sure how much you wanted me to highlight here, but if you would ever have any extra funding, that we could use some new carpet in the band and auditorium. New roof would be nice. We need some auto release swipes on our doors for our outbuildings. Right now, for instance, CTE building, if students leave the building during the course of the block, they cannot get back in without going and knocking on Ms. Myers' classroom door, which interrupts her class. And the same way with the ag building. Once those students come out of the building to get back in, if it's not class change, the door is locked, so they have to knock and figure out a way. So swipe cards would be great. And the same way with building 4. just in general, we've been trying to touch up paint whenever we can around here. So painting the school, it would be nice. And this was a topic maybe brought up by my safety committee, but the guard shack that nobody uses down at the bottom of the hill, if we really don't need it and we're not using it, we thought we could have it removed and put in another lane to get out of here, which would help us greatly in the evenings, because with the middle school and it's a lot coming off this hill. So that would just open that area up, just a thought. And also the top layer of the parking lot where the huts are, there's the steps that come down, they're washing out underneath, and I'm afraid at some point it's gonna give away on those steps, that platform, because the dirt underneath of it is giving out. It's washing out every time. Oh, I did forget this. I'm really proud of the work that we're doing with Mastery Prep. It's been a cultural change, but we are talking more and more about data and student scores, and our kids have tested, benchmarked twice with Mastery Prep. We did it in September, and we just did it in November, and this is a report for freshmen, sophomores, and seniors, and it shows their score from September, their score from November, and then it highlights green or red if they increased or decreased or remained the same. So this is, we're talking the talk and we're walking the walk to get our test scores up. And I'm really proud of our staff. Like I said, it all starts in the classroom, and our teachers are working hard, and I appreciate every single thing they do every single day. And also I want to say thank you to the superintendent, because he got us this platform, and I appreciate it greatly. Anything to benefit our students. So, and he's been a wealth of knowledge. So, that's all I have.
That's a lot.
Well, I want to say something. It is a lot. And I think the most important thing that Amy said was, this is a total cultural, philosophical shift. And this staff has embraced it. You know, the whole fact that we have to hold ourselves accountable because the kids are going to hold us accountable is the philosophy. And that's what we're trying to do. So anytime they've had a problem, they've been great to come and ask questions. I haven't mandated anything to them other than I did mandate Mastery Prep, but I have provided them solutions and options. They've gone back to the staff and they've talked about things, and they've come back with their own better plans than I even presented. So when I say I'm proud of their efforts, I'm proud of the entire building, not just the administration, not just the kids, not just the teachers, the custodians, the cooks, everybody is moving in a little bit different direction now. And it's going to take us some time, but I really, you can see it. When you talk to the kids, you can see it and you can hear it. So I'm very proud of your efforts. You're doing a great job.
Thanks. And like I said, I couldn't be prouder to work in a school than Hampshire High School. And it really made me proud about the attendance, and that just speaks volumes for the staff and what they're doing here and how important they make the students feel and the culture itself here. So it's a collaborative team effort every single day. None of us do it on our own. So, and I appreciate all of them.
Good enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for all coming.
All right, Ms. Dean, you're up.
All right, that's hard to follow.
Oh, that's all right. You got it.
So I created a small presentation so you all can look more in depth at the data. So I kind of looked at it because we only have the GSA, you know, the general summative. But, so I'm looking at the first slide, Adam, if you're my PowerPoint guy there. Next one. So I kind of presented it looking at the spring.
Hold on.
It's looking at you, not the PowerPoint. Now you can.
Okay. And thanks for having me tonight. So I'm excited to be here. I looked at last year's scores and compared them to our first benchmark. So we haven't had any new data, and we won't until January because the benchmark looks like the scores have dropped, but they were tested on the new year skills, and they'd only been to school for a few weeks. So that's their results from a set of standards that they haven't even been taught a small percentage of. But it still shows that we have kids that kind of are higher thinking because they're able to test there. The big focus this year is on that yellow and a little bit of the green. Those are our bubble students. So we're focusing in on those kids when we're looking at data. I have a whole binder on our bubble kids. If those kids in yellow really only need around 25 points scaled score to be mastery, and if we could move all of those, we'd be like a top 10 middle school in the state. So that's the focus. I'm part of a new initiative with the state as one of the principals to go to some, I guess you would say, professional development for principals, where we're invited with the superintendents and 4 of their meetings this year. And the first conference we had was an excellent speaker, and I was able to bring some of that back to the school. It didn't touch much on the bubble students, but the professional development ideas were there and how to get kids to school. So that's that data. The next one is the iReady. It's very similar to the GSA. It aligns perfectly. So one of the initiatives we've had at Romney Middle School and Cape Bridge Middle School, and I believe all the elementary schools, is a program, and it gives a diagnostic, but it also takes where the kids are and it meets them there. So they get to work on skills that they need to fill the gaps. So whatever grade level on it will give them those skills. So it's adaptive in nature. But also the teachers have the ability to give them lessons based on the skills that they're teaching in class. So it's the best of both worlds. So they can work on that, and they're supposed to get 40 minutes a week. We have a true advisory this year. So we built that into our schedule, which is one of the things that's a work in progress to make it more efficient in the next couple years. But they are working one day in advisory on math, one day on English, and then they have the social emotional learning skills programs on the other 3 days. Or the teachers are looking at this data and they are creating groups and pooling them. So my math teachers are pooling kids that need to work on math. My English teachers are pooling kids that need to work on English skills during those times, and they're kind of flip-flopping a couple days so they can get those proficiency scores up, I hope, by extra attention. That's just the science benchmark for this school year so far. Again, we don't have any other data to reflect on until January. But if you see, 50% of our students are right there on that fine line in the yellow to meet proficiency. If you look at, well, I have this in your all's agenda, but at the school math, overall from spring of 24 to spring of 25, Romney Middle School increased as a school by 2%. 6th grade increased by 7%, 7th grade increased by 5%, and 8th grade did decrease by 3% there. But overall, we increased from spring of 24 to spring of 25. And our females outscored our males in math overall as well. Moving on to English, if you look there, as far as that goes, again, if you look, about a third of our kids are in that yellow. And, you know, we have less than 2/10 of our kids in the red. So if we can move those yellow up there, which is what we're focusing on, we would have almost our goal of 75 to 80% kids proficient at our schools. So that's been our focus. And to help with that, we've been doing writing across the curriculum. Every teacher is involved and they're expected. So each grade level or each team, because our related arts is doing it as well, made non-negotiables with their team. Like they want to see this in their writing samples the kids turn in. I was in gym the other day and they were writing a 5-paragraph essay about the ring toss game, and a couple kids wanted to list it, and where they were like, no, we can't list it, we have to use the non-negotiables, you know, punctuations. capital letters at the beginning, the indentation. They wanted it in paragraph format, so I was happy to see that in PE. But no kid bucked it. They were sat down. They knew that's what they did on Friday. They turned it in and they got ready into their physical activity. So everyone is accountable in our school for the writing with those non-negotiables. If you go to the right, Adam.
Next slide.
Yeah. Well, the next one, that's just, if you look, we have an academic coach too, so thank you for hiring her because she has been a true blessing since I don't have an assistant. She has been able to focus in on the data, work with my new teachers, my long-term subs, and then help me in PLCs to bring this data. And what we have found that the conventions aren't horrible in 8th, and I have the 7th and the 6th grade there for you to see. The conventions are actually pretty good. So that means they understand the punctuation and the capitalization. What we're failing at, and one of our goals is to increase 2 points, one in each one of the 3 categories, is elaboration of purpose. So the kids aren't elaborating. They're putting the details or they're citing the evidence, but they're not elaborating with their own thinking. So that's what my writing teachers are focusing on. Adam, you can skip through 7th grade and 6th grade. And of course, informational writing is the hardest because that just seems to be across the county and across the board. So each one of our grades, we have the primary focus based on which type of writing they get on the GSA and what should be the primary focus in that grade level because that's where their struggles were. So you can look at that. In English overall, Romney Middle School did decrease 4% overall, but our English scores were a lot higher compared to our math. So there was a little bit of a decrease overall. 6th grade decreased by 3%, 7th grade increased by 9%, and 8th grade decreased by 19%. 6th grade beat the state average, and 7th and 8th grade was just a little bit below in English from 24 to 25. Some action steps on the academics. We are having consistent, true PLCs, which is what my professional development was about the last meeting we went to in October, is making sure that we're truly data focused, and we are. And the teachers are coming in, and we're going. They're going strong, and Ms. Brinker's been awesome. So we're looking a lot towards those bubble students, but we're also trying to enrich our higher students as well. Something I've been doing, I had the teachers sign up for observations, for teacher-led. I'm trying to get more small groups at the middle school instead of just the teacher teaching the whole time. I want kids up actively moving and engaged, taking ownership of their own learning, and they can do that when teacher has a small group to help with those kids with the deficit. So the teachers are doing all of the things. They're changing their groups as the skills change. I know Ms. Orndorff is here from my 6th grade team and can attest to it. They work hard. They are working really, really hard, and I'm so proud of all the teachers. So I went in and observed everybody where the teachers were leading small groups. I made that an expectation. They don't know it yet, but tomorrow during PLCs, I have another sign-up form for December, and I created a rubric for them so that they can look at some specific things that I'm looking for. So I'm trying to provide some rubrics, things that they can do with the kids and share out too. So I'll be sharing that with them tomorrow. We have our already supported lessons. We're getting ready to start after-school tutoring, and we have some peer tutoring already happening during advisory. We also, when I get to attendance, I'll talk a little bit more about that too. So attendance, when I first became principal, my focus was attendance, because if kids don't come to school, they're not going to learn. So my most important thing was we need to get them here. So last year, we had a 93.03% overall daily attendance, and when I first started, it was right around 90, and then when the next year it was like 91 point something, so we increased our percentage point from 2 years ago to 93%. Our chronic absenteeism, and when I went backwards, was around 25% last year, and it was because of the last few days of school, because we were under 20%, when it was 21.59%. Next slide, Adam. I looked at the first 9 weeks attendance overall, which was 42 days of school. We're almost at 96%, which is 3% above last year already. And our chronic decreased almost 10 percentage points. We're down, with the principals meeting at 60 days, we were under 12.997%. We were at like
Yay.
12.01.
Great.
So we're decreasing a little bit on the 60-day mark as well. So on that, some of our action steps with attendance is we're conducting student conferences with the kids. So the guidance counselor, social worker, and myself, we divide and conquer because it takes everybody. We're meeting with those students, conferencing with them, and in our strategic plan, we put in there any student that have missed 4 or more days. We'd have conferences with them at the end of the 9 weeks. Those have been done. We had 55 students out of 365 that met that criteria at the end of the first 9 weeks. So we will meet with those kids again periodically every few weeks to see if their attendance has improved. Parent communication, we, of course, Emily Embry at the board, she sends 3-day letters and 10 days letters. We're responsible for 5 days, but that's only 5 days if they get to unexcused with no parent notes, doctor notes. And then we set up conferences with them, and then we kind of follow up just to make sure if there's any barriers or ways that we can help them get their kids to school, that we can have that relationship with the parents. And so far, so good. Some incentives, we hold monthly grade level competitions because everybody loves competitions. So the grade level with the highest attendance for the month gets a reward. Every 9 weeks, and this is student-based. The students voted on some rewards they would like to have for the 9 weeks and the end of the year reward, and then they voted. So whatever they voted is what we're giving them. So they have ownership in participating and trying to earn those rewards. The 9 weeks, it's anyone that has missed 1 day or less, they get to participate because we take into account that they could be sick a day. At the end of the year, it's faithful attendance. So any student that's missed 4.5 or fewer absences, they voted on to go to Sky Zone again. It was a huge hit last year, and it was voted on again this year. We had around 100 kids last year that got to go to Sky Zone.
Wow.
So I hope we can beat that number this year. And they loved it, and they were excellent as far as behavior. Let's see, what did I talk about? I have 100 different things. Some highlights. I don't have. Well, we'll go through Adam because I do have it on there. I added it.
So next.
So I met with my LSI team member. Our LSIC, last year we created a true LSIC membership with our community, our parents, our students we have involved. They've been very active the 2 years that I've been with them so far, and our PTO, I want to give them props. I think our first meeting, we had nearly 20 people in attendance, where I'm used to just a few. So I really appreciate all of the community support as well. So we had our meeting last week, and some of the things they asked me to put on the presentation or talk about was one is our goal for safety. Of course, we have 2 big double doors with glass. So, and then our foyer, you can see down both hallways. And that is a safety issue, because you have, people coming in and looking. So LSIC is working on getting my 3 bid quotes to put up the one-way film so we can see out, they just can't see down the hallway. PTO's agreed to pay for it. So they're taking that initiative on, and we've already put in a purchase order for the double doors, and we're just paying for that out of office fund, because if we get to exchange the doors, I didn't want to put a lot of personalized things on a door that might come down. But for the foyer, we're going to go and make it look professional with some Pioneer logos. So that's something that they're wanting to see happen. We talked about, the number of staff members we have, and, they would love to have an assistant or more help for me because they see, everything that goes on. So they would like to see it improve a pupil to admin or staff to admin ratio. That's something they talked about at the meeting to put on there.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Also, as far as when we look at our scores to compare to Caton Bridge Middle, it's not equitable. they have 90 minutes in math and ELA. And last year we had 45 minutes. This year, we did get to schedule where they have 65 minutes. But it's still not equitable, so we don't have near the time, and it's because it would take more teachers to do so, but that's something that they kind of wanted to see across the county. And then, of course, you can see a picture of Millie. That was our initiative last year. So we've had Millie, our therapy dog, for a month now. And so we want to keep adding, I called it Positive Connections Program. We want to keep building that program and build it up with using her. So she's been there a month. She's supposed to have been with me to acclimate to the school before she gets a new handler, but that's not conducive all the time. So she's been out and about. The kids are so excited. They want to greet her every morning. Every evening they want to know if she's going to be outside. And I take her in the classrooms, and last week, I'm in all the classrooms, and she just sits perfectly, or I take her around, but our guidance counselor and our social workers already got to use her in some pretty serious situations where kids were in need, and she was a calming presence. Even just with the kids, she likes to sniff first and then pet, and the kids are like, you can't charge at her. You need to calm down before you pet her. So it's kind of, when she's out and about, they're more calm in the hallways. So I already see some effects of having her. All right, Adam. Some concerns or recommendation that my LSIC kind of wanted me to emphasize. Some of the parents said when they get the data from the GSA, they really don't understand it. So if there's a way that we could break down the student data for ease of understanding, to provide that to them. So that's something we're going to look at, that we can give them with their student data, because now it's all online. So they're clicking on it, looking at it. What does it mean? So that was a recommendation. They also, some of my staff with the shortages, we're covering a lot. They are recommended if some of the board members can get out and about and provide some coverages, or even come in and do observations in the school, because they want you all to see what they're doing in the school too. So if you ever have time, come in. We want you to come in and observe and see all the good things that are happening. Or, if a teacher needs a break or a coverage, you could take a few minutes and come on in.
Would you trust me with it?
Huh? I trust
You're
you.
a brave lady.
Yes, we would. Yes, we would. Yes. We want them all.
Be careful what you wish for.
I'm serious. People are my resources. So some highlights for our school. Start with sports. Our girls cross country were the PVL champions. Our boys cross country team were our runner-ups, and only by a very small margin. Our football team was our PVL champions, and our golf club RMS finished in 3rd place, and Deacon Delaplane finished 2nd overall. So now we're on to the next season. School-wide, I talked about our Positive Connections program. And of course, I received 3 grants for the training, and then we had fundraising. Our LSIC was a huge part of organizing the fundraisers and bringing that to fruition. So I want to thank them for that. And one of the things I want to do is create, during advisory time, a time where I can have kids come in during their advisory and have like an open session with me, just to talk about things going on in the school. So I want to build that into part of the program, more goal-oriented with the students, like all voices. Because we have a student council that I'm so proud of, but that's a select few and it's all year. So I kind of want to involve all the students. So I want to build on that.
And that would happen during advisory?
Yeah, during advisory. Like, just a select, like, I don't know, if I, can get to them so many from each of the classes, and then the other day so many. And like, I want to create a classroom with an inviting atmosphere. I don't know, like a mini mic. If you think about going to a session where, they can present and you have open mic night,
yeah.
But it's, with me or the guidance counselor or the social worker, just to talk about school issues and things that they would like to see. And that's something that I'm working on, and to add to that. Let's see, we talked about LSIC, PTO. We also had a pumpkin drop and a pumpkin catapult. So we had 2 different versions to connect the math and science. The kids loved both, and they were both successful. We've also had a successful Spirit Weeks where the kids participated. I just talked to the cheerleading coach about highlighting a Christmas pep rally, a little one too, but I want it, not really games or anything like that, but to introduce the fall sports, but talk about attendance, like gearing up for attendance, because December, you know, in the 9 weeks, you know, and gearing up for our benchmark test when we come back to school. So told her I'd want to emphasize those things at that assembly, so we can get them in that right thinking of when they come back, we have to be focused. We have, in our advisory program, each month we have a different theme. So of course we had Red Ribbon, drug prevention. So we had a Catch My Breath speaker that came in and talked to each grade level on different days. I also have committees in the building. They're listed: fundraising, our PBIS or student incentives, curriculum, staff incentives, and of course our attendance team. And they're working diligently and hard, and they meet every month. And then they take, someone from each team is on a different committee, so they can go back to their teams and talk about everything that's going on in the school, so everybody's involved. And that's been really helpful this year. Ms. Hicks, my math teacher, and Ms. Sign, a science teacher, is working on creation of a robotics club, and it will be implemented soon. I just finalized the packet that they want to send home with an application for kids to be able to say why they want to be in it, a contract to say when they're going to be there to work, and no horseplay, where the parents have to sign. So, and we're working on getting some technology, updated technology computers where they can work on some of the things in the STEM room as well. My band teacher is rocking it as well. She's already out into the community, and she's offering lessons after school. She sent that home, so any parents that wanted to sign up, they could sign up for certain spots on certain days, and she's staying after and just providing lessons. So she is killing it. Every time I'm in there and I'm going by, I'm like, I'm amazed. So, and I love listening to the Christmas music, so I'm by there a lot. Our student council group is in full swing with outreach community projects. Would you like to add anything? This is my student council representative.
Well, they're doing a great job. So far, so good. We did get in touch with the elementary school, so we will be going there for our annual little Christmas get-together with the students at the Potomac Center. So our kids go down there dressed as Santa Claus and the elves, and they play with the kids and just provide them some much-needed cheer. We also had a parent who did not trust me and my students to safely build stuff. So he decided to take it upon himself to build a staff employee of the month parking and a principal parking, because he was like, it's probably better you don't have tools. So, I don't know why, but we're okay, whatever works.
And Ms. Orndorff's agreed to stay every Monday for student council members to stay after school if they so choose to work on these projects, or just have that team building skills with the students and projects and ideas that they can do for our school. So I attended that meeting with them last week too. And they're currently fundraising to help with the Christmas incentive at the elementary school right now. So,
and we're selling beef sticks. I had to reorder because the hunters asked me to try to get it in before hunting season. So, yeah, I'm trying.
And our band and chorus concerts are scheduled, and they're gearing up for those. So I'm excited for those as well. There's probably so much more, but we'll keep going. All right, Adam. Same thing Amy said, you know, physical needs are physical needs. We know Romney Middle School is an older school, but for the age, it looks great. I mean, it really does. When you have a brick building, though, you know, it's timeless. Inside's where we have some work that we need to do, other than the exterior doors, which everyone knows about. You know, if we get the grant, then they will be replaced, and hopefully with key cards, because a lot of my teachers would like to come in later or on the weekends, but they don't have access to get in the building without the key card, because I can't give everybody a master key. So they're limited to their classroom door keys. So that would be really helpful. I know when I was a teacher, that was one of the things. I was there late, went out for dinner, but coming back, I was able to get in that way. And, you know, my teachers would like to do that too. Safety measures. Mr. Collett's been awesome working with my pro officers and all the other school pro officers, has multiple meetings on more safety measures with lockdown procedures and our interior doors, so I thank him for that. So those initiatives are on the way as well. Painting, of course, it's been a while since the school's been painted, but my janitors have been working on some of it slowly. I know outside our bathrooms and our cafeterias, some of more traffic areas, hand touched, feet touched. They've been working on that slowly. Our locker rooms in the gym, we've been working on updating those. From our athletic funds, we bought some, I don't know what you call it, epoxy paint to put on the floor because, and it's like, it was a dark blue and then it was like this light green color, it's dark blue again. We painted the walls. We're working on replacing those little PE lockers into more of a locker room locker because our students don't change for PE since COVID. So they're getting updated. I'll be anxious for you guys to come see those when they're completed. The boys is almost finished. And a couple other things, our band office carpets need replaced. The age is showing on that. They're aware of the ceiling tiles. But one of the things is they're continuously going to get dirty if the HVAC system's not clean, because it's just going to push out the dirt. You know what I mean? When the vents come on and off, it just pushes out that dirt. So even if we replace them, you give it some time, they're going to look the same and not much time. So that's one of the things we've discussed and talked about, but we replace the tiles, the major ones, as we go, but that's one of two solutions.
Okay, just clarity, just so I understand, HVAC cleaning, is that like the yearly cleaning they do, or is it something even more in depth that we're talking?
Well,
That's more in depth.
more in
That's
depth.
more in depth,
Yes.
that's where they go in and do the
Yeah,
vents
more
and
in depth.
everything, right? The duct work and all.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to thank everybody at my school. Like you said, my janitors are working hard. Now I'm fully staffed with my janitors, and I mean, he's rocking it. If I ask him to do something, they're on it. They're coming up with a plan to get it done. And the other thing, and I know student council had talked about and worked on, is our parking lot, painting the lines. It's hard to see the spots, especially when we have events or parents are coming in. So that's something they're talking about, taking on that initiative and
Student
seeing.
council.
I'll get some parents.
Yeah, so.
We'll do it.
But that's something that we're working on there. But we're in the right direction too. Everything this year has been student-centered on all the kids making progress, no matter what level they're at. The teachers are meeting them where they are. So I'm really proud of them.
I do have to say one thing, I prowl around the schools all the time, you know, summer, fall, winter, and I do have to admit, every time I come up this past summer, or even in the evenings and stuff, your old school always looks so nice, and like, I noticed, and I've been wanting to tell you this since last year, the new sign.
Oh, isn't that awesome?
That was just, I haven't got to see you since then, but that new sign out there.
Miss Rexroad worked on a grant,
That
and we got that together, and at night it lights up. We
Yeah.
put the solar lights on it, and
And you're one of the majority of the schools, and you're one of them, really show respect for the flagpoles. The flagpoles always look good, flag is always in a proper place. Yeah, just, the outside looks real nice.
And speaking of that,
Okay.
we had a student-initiated group with a Christian group, because, you know, it has to be student-initiated, so they get, heaven forbid, they chose JD to run them, but we'll survive with the pro officer. Oh goodness, we're praying, you'll have to come up, Kim.
yeah, they're working on another prayer circle, I think.
Yeah, I think. He has me covering when he's gone.
Well, I want to make a comment. So it's been very interesting trying to get to know each school. And you go into each school, every school, doesn't matter which one, they all have their own culture, their own personality. And I'll be quite frank, your school was like, I felt like it was the hardest for me to get to know. The first couple weeks, months or so, it was just, I mean, I got there, that made my life a little easier, but she knows where I'm from, so I can't hide anything from her. But as we got around, started getting up there and getting to know you, and then from there we did our audits. I think that your teacher audit review that we did up there, and we had the interviews, was probably my most enjoyable. It became very obvious how committed your staff is to these children.
They are.
And so it made me very proud of you to begin with. And now to see you take on the changes that we're pushing on you, I'm very proud of that and appreciate your efforts. I think people don't realize how much you guys are doing, and you're doing a lot. So thank you.
And change doesn't happen
Yes, you're
overnight,
exactly
and I
right.
realized that, when
That's
I
right.
first started, I was thinking this, and this, and I'm like, no, you have to start with one goal in mind.
That's right.
And add a little bit at a time,
That's
so,
correct.
and I realized it's gonna take some time to get where I want things to be, but we're gonna get there.
Well, I wanted to ask you, and I actually wanted to ask Ms. Haynes, but I forgot. With the, we haven't seen, well, you might as well say, we don't see student expulsions anymore. And I know that there have been a new discipline matrix. And with everything, I'm sure there's growing pains and getting used to things. How's it working?
Good. My teachers really, I took the matrix we got and I made it more for my teachers,
Okay.
things that they could deal with in the classroom, and gave that to them. So they had something to follow. They all appreciated that and thought that was the best thing.
So
It really
with
is.
consistency across.
And just,
So it's good.
it is,
Great,
yeah.
great.
Okay, I
And
always-
I feel like behaviors are down. I mean, honestly, I feel like this year was a better start than I had last year, so.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very good. It just, you've got a tough, middle school kids are tough. They
Tough
are.
age group. It
They
is.
are.
It's fun though.
It's a tough age
I
group.
They're
enjoy
tough,
it.
they're tough
They're
kids.
fun.
They are.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you guys. It was good
Thank
seeing
you.
you this
And
evening.
Thank you.
I will take you up on that
Come on,
offer.
please.
I will.
Please, you
I will.
enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, you will.
I'm serious.
I think you would.
It's kind of fun.
I'll have a blast, but I don't know about the kids.
And Tabitha, would you like to introduce yourself? She's another one of my members.
I think most of them know me. I'm Tabitha Bean. I have a student at Romney Middle School and I work for the Bank of Romney, so.
So she joined us this year
That's awesome.
to replace
Well,
her.
thank you.
I
Good.
think that's our greatest asset right now is parent involvement as well on behalf of the kids.
Yeah,
Good,
yeah.
good.
Well, we appreciate it as always. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Odell, do we have any speakers this evening?
Yes, the first one is Donald Judy, and he wants to talk about prehistory founding.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't hear out of these guys was, where's my bonus? Since you're going in the right direction. Yeah. Yeah. I'd, through the grapevine, heard y'all had a pretty interesting meeting here a couple weeks ago. So I've been praying about this. I pastor a church up Perkinsville. Been working with the youth for 40-some years. But when I got here, I got 4 pictures I want you to see. So this is going to educate you. The first one is a coal mine picture with the tree in it. Okay, stump. Second one's a picture of a hammer in Cretaceous limestone. Now this tree, the reason why it's hollow, it's like a twig, like a piece of hay. Before the flood, diluvian, there was no 4 seasons, so they kept growing. There was no rings to make the tree solid. Perfect example, it's down Tennessee. You can pass it down if you would. This hammerhead here was found in Texas. The oxygen on the earth, the metallurgist told me it was 37% higher than it is today. This picture here of a fish is up at Eagle Rock in Pendleton County, 300 foot high on Eagle Rock. And there's many more in behind it. Perfectly preserved. The fourth picture I got is layers of rock with the tree right up to it. Proves pre-flood. And there's been a lot of that in West Virginia. And the reason I bring that up is due to the fact that I see where y'all are trying to take the spirit of the school, which that's where it needs to go. And without that foundation there, from outside people trying to always change the foundation of America, I wanted you all to see this. All that speaks for itself, it's the truth. It's one thing in the Constitution, it says inalienable rights. That includes the kids, which means you gotta back them. Now, if you look at the freedom of this country, let's go back to the year 1400. I think it's 1435, 1432. A gentleman invented the printing press for the first time. What happened in 1492? Old Columbus sailed the ocean blue, didn't he? Okay, this is God's timing, folks. Right after that, Tyndale comes on the scene and he translates scripture into the English for the very first time. Well, during this period where we get separation of church and state, this is where it comes from. The Roman Catholic Church controlled all of Europe. We're not getting political here, I'm just giving you facts. In turn, the kings and the church controlled the masses. You didn't read, you didn't write, nothing. Well, once Tyndale did this and started getting this out, guess what? He lost his life. Okay? But freedom was born from that, because what's the next thing? Our forefathers started showing up on the shores of North America, didn't they? And they got here in these mountains, further inland, and they got a taste of freedom to worship God in their own way instead of somebody telling them how to do it. And that's not a vibe, it's the truth. There's one thing as a pastor that I think of weekly, is there's a verse that says, "Depart from me, I never knew you." And I'll tell you now, this is a good one. I'm coming back from up next to York, Pennsylvania here a while back, and I see this huge Mennonite barn, and on the side of it says, "On the day you die, you will meet God." You know? Think about that. So when you're dealing with these kids, me and a couple friends of mine went to Hampshire here back in '80. We graduated. We've taken 1,771 boys. 60% of them boys are from Hampshire County. Most of them don't have dad over 38 years, April and October. When they see that fish up there on top of Eagle Rock, I say, "Boys, how long was it before your trout you caught yesterday this morning started shriveling up?" They get 5 minutes max. They start shriveling, getting all crinkly. I said, "Here, you look at this perfectly preserved fish in stone." I said, "What's that tell you?" And they get, I said, "They were trapped instantly." So you get so much of the Bible comes to life to them. And the biggest thing, which I told the superintendent earlier, within 2 to 3 months, you get a call from their moms, because like I say, dad's not around with most of these kids.
30 seconds.
Pardon me?
30 seconds.
Okay. They go. His attitude changed. And I don't know of one that's been locked up out of that group. They are citizens, good citizens. You all are nothing but farmers. You're planting seeds in each one of these kids' heads. You know? There's one thing I was thinking about on that 30-second deal. I remember playing football with Coach Beans and Clovis and seeing them. And having the Lord's Prayer before we hit the football field. And once you went down off that hill, it's like, now rip their heads off. You know? That was the way it was back in the day.
Oh, I remember.
You know?
Yeah.
But I'll put it this way. I got an education through FFA up here on shop. When I got out of the military, I was a full-fledged journeyman down in D.C. Broke my fingers in 24 pieces, that ended. Then I became a salesman, and I was a whole East Coast salesman for Swenson out of Chicago for a few years. And then my leg come apart where I broke my leg up here in football. It started going bad.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry, your time's up.
Yeah, all right, but I'm just saying, you know, it's with the right teachers, which sounds to me like you're on the right track, and I'm proud of it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep. But don't let the world pull you down, folks. You got rights. And my last comment would be, show me where it's at in the law. Right?
That's right.
All right, thank you all.
Okay, we have Cheryl Smith to speak in favor of Likewise Academy.
I need my pictures back.
Oh, they're down here.
They're down there.
It's finding interesting.
Yes, thank you.
Preparation time count. Hope not. Yes, I do stand in agreement with our Likewise Academy, which basically states in there, focus on character building through the Bible stories and lessons aiming to improve student behavior and school attendance. I've seen that in my life, and I believe in that all the way. Talking quickly, because time passes. Benjamin Franklin said, I have so much faith in the general government of the world by providence, capital, meaning God, that I can hardly conceive a transaction of such momentous importance to the welfare of millions should he be suffered to pass without being in some degree influenced, guided, and governed by their omnipotent, omnipresent, and beneficent ruler, capitalized, meaning God. So many times I've heard Benjamin Franklin and others accused of not being concerned about God, and that's not true. Another thing I've noticed, the misquote of the amendments. The Constitution was on March the 1789. They went back, they were concerned, and quote, that there was expressed desire in order to prevent misconstruction or ideas, a desire in order to prevent these abuse of its powers. They went back and they added or worked on 12 amendments, but 10 of them were adopted on September of, well, they were given these in September 1789, but these were voted and ratified 2 years later, 91. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or, and listen to this, they usually stop there, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of people to peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress if there's a problem, basically is what they're saying. That was the first thing on their 12 amendments minds. So it was important for them. Have much to say, but I wanted to bring in, remember that little thing you all talked about that the kids was using that weren't working? Mm-hmm. This is what my parents took. This is not a computer. It is a chalk or it is a slate board. They did everything on these, their homework or whatever, and brought it back. My mother was a second grade teacher at Cape and Bridge High School, second and third grade in Cape and Bridge. I had, for 2 years, I was a teacher's aide and was able to help her and others. Her last 2 classes had 53 students. On her desk, she had the Bible story book. She had the Webster Dictionary. She was not the only one. Other teachers had this on their desk. This has become such a controversy. Oh no, you can't do that. Oh yes, you can. The kids really, I've had many come back and say, thank you, Mrs. Whitaker. Thank you for reading us the Bible story book. After lunch, they had their recess, they came in and they would ask for it. And they would have such stories that helped them. And one boy told me, I used to be bullied, but your mom read me the story of David and Goliath. And I figured I didn't need to be bullied anymore, because if he could kill Goliath, I certainly could work on, or I could overcome the bullies. So there was much that they came about on that. So she was going back to her early childhood, wandering schools. Believe it or not, they debated. They knew the Constitution. They had to memorize it. They memorized the preamble. They knew the amendments. There was so much they knew. And they debated. They had free thinking. They were taught to think. Today, our kids are in trouble. We are in trouble. We have seen our nation being, petitioned or maybe from outside influences. But all I'm saying is, we the people, we need to have absolute equality. So everybody should have the right to speak as their Constitution requires. And as it says, just a reminder, I'm sorry, I had to punch your ham for supper and my mouth is so dry right now, I don't know how to talk. Remember, we have Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, 2 weeks of vacations for our school. That is a Christian, tradition. Thank you very much.
If you could wrap it up, Ms. Smith, you've already gone over, but allow
Okay.
you to get that thought out.
And just simply the history of, it is true that our it is a republic, as Benjamin Franklin was quoted as saying, that it is a republic. They asked him what was the vote. He said it's a republic if you can keep it. I am for free speech. I want free press. I want good news. And I pray that, and by the way, I'm proud of that because I graduated here in '66. That floor is so shiny, I almost thought, am I gonna fall coming back here? So it's good to see our schools blessed by y'all. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's keep the Lord in our schools.
Thank you. Have any others?
No, sir, that's it.
All right. We have the minutes. Has everyone had the opportunity to look over the minutes?
Yes, sir, and I recommend the board approve the minutes from November 3rd as they are presented.
Have a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I'll make the motion to approve November 3rd minutes.
Thank you. And a second?
I'll second it.
Appreciate that. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Motion passed. On consent agenda items, we have some bills to be paid and budget revisions.
Yes, sir, those, almost all of those are standard, and you've all hopefully had a chance to see those. Nothing specific. Yeah, that we do have transfer between funds and a treasurer's report as well. I hope that you've been able to look at those, and I ask that you approve those as presented.
Did you be able to see those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Denise sent them out in an email too.
Yeah.
Actually today,
Yeah.
in my email.
Okay, I'm gonna entertain a motion to approve consent agenda letter A, the financial aspects.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jeffries. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Motion passed. We have some, we have a consent agenda items B, Superintendent College. I'd like to be able to move that around a little bit, and if we could vote on 5F individually, we could move that around. Or H, sorry about that, H.
Yes, sir, I'll present it all, and then when we move to vote, we'll vote for everything, and we will exempt H, and then we will take action on H.
Mr. President, I'll excuse myself from that.
Okay,
yes, sir.
We appreciate that.
There you go.
You don't have to.
You don't have to right now.
No,
Yeah.
you're okay.
We vote.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
So with that, the agenda for personnel, it's the time of year, it's not a lot in there. We do have a few situations under section 1. We do have a new long-term sub to go into the special education classroom at Romney Middle. And so we ask for that approval. That has been vetted correctly. We also go to SS, and we have another long-term sub for a social studies teacher at Cape and Bridge Middle School. That job has actually been filled for next year, but in the benefit of the students, the teacher that got that job, we spoke with them, and they preferred to stay in the job they're in now, and then have this sub come into that job. So I thought that was a very smart move and a good move for the children, so I was proud of that. From there, move down to section 4, resignations and retirements. And we have an itinerant classroom aide, transportation aide at Romney Middle, who is simply ready to retire. And she's hit her numerical mark, so she's ready to go. So I'm happy for her. And then section 5, transfers. We have another countywide homebound teacher, effective November 19th. in a specific situation for a student that is in need there. Of course, then we have letter H, we have another student success coach to be hired, and that we're looking forward to that happening. Of course, then letter K, we have the assistant basketball coach at Cape Ridge Middle, effective for the season for this year. As we go on down the rest of those, we have a yearbook support contact at Cape Ridge Elementary. And basically, if I'm not mistaken, their PTO pays for that. Basically, they have an outside person that does all the paperwork, and it takes a lot to get that together. And so that's what that's for. And then from there, sorry, I lost my place, just looking at different things here. Yeah, a group of tutors. Yeah, that's where we're at now. And we're trying to push, the state is pushing for in-depth tutoring sessions. We're trying to use every source of funding that we can get that doesn't come out of our general fund to do that. And so that's what these would be set up to do. And we're proud to have them involved and to get some intensive tutoring started that we can report to Charleston and let them know that we're doing that. Other than that, we go to number 7. We have some leave of absence there for different health scenarios and different scenarios within each person. Those, again, have been vetted and are appropriate. And then we have a series of volunteers in number 8. So with that being said, I would ask the board to approve the consent agenda for personnel as is presented for all items except for the letter H at this time.
Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion that we approve this consent agenda items.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lee. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passed.
Get out of here.
Okay. At this time, I would ask that the board consider consent agenda H.
I'll make that motion.
Hang on a minute.
It's okay.
Hang on a minute.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Just
he
trying to
can
follow
be
the
here
rules.
for the motion just as long as he didn't,
Yeah, that's all right. We're doing it right.
We're making sure we
Yep.
got it right.
All right. Now we can go.
Okay.
So we got a motion by
Ed.
Mr. Morgan.
Yep, and do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. All right, Mr. Lee.
You can come back.
Turn around.
He may not come back.
Yeah. He may say, I'm
I
out.
might just keep on going.
There you go.
I'm down halfway down the hallway, I'm checking out the shiny floors. Somebody's doing some good cleaning.
All right.
Non-consent.
Yes. So if you go to Roman numeral 6, non-consent agenda item, I'm presenting to you tonight, or you've been given a copy of a revision of policy 4030. Policy 4030 is what's called our laterality policy. In other words, if you are an employee in our county and come personnel season, if there's a need for a position, a need for a position to be ended, has nothing to do with the person that's in it, but the person that's in it has to know where they're going to go to. So they have to be moved laterally to another job that is equivalent. Mrs. Slocum and myself went to our annual training, what we really do every year to make sure that we follow code and understand the laws for personnel season. We always have 3 opportunities to do that. We've both done it in January, and every time we either have bad weather, have a hard time getting there, or it gets canceled. So we decided to go ahead and go all the way to Charleston and do it. It coincided with our Charleston presentation, Mr. Morgan. So that's why I ended up being down there most of the week. But while we were in that, this policy came up as a conversation point. They gave us a couple examples from a couple other counties that the law firm had worked on and got it as close to what they considered perfect as they could get it. So we came back and Ms. Slocum and I discussed it somewhat. I'll be the first to tell everyone, Ms. Slocum actually did all these revisions herself. I did not have to. I went over them with her. They are correct, and most of the revisions are things like, for example, in the first section, our chief financial officer, even though she's a director, she's not qualified to hold any other director position.
Right.
So she can't be lateral to a director position. She can only be lateral to another chief financial officer position. And that needed to be stated, and it was not clear. And so that's why that was put in there. Our school nurse, our lead school nurse, that is the same thing. That's not because she's not a nurse, it's because she has an extended contract, so her contract is different than the other nurses. And so we had to individualize that. According code, school counselors are considered as teachers. And so we cannot have a separate item just for school counselors. And so that had to be removed. Technology integration specialist, same thing. You know, we have to look at those specializations and make sure where those people can move. A couple of the other areas there, either we're missing a word or had a misspelling, that was changed. But then we also had to look at certain principalships. And again, that's due to contracts. So if you look, an elementary school principal shall be lateral to another elementary school principal. The position of an elementary school assistant principal has to be different because those contracts are different. And so when the contract days are different, that's why we have to change those and to make those appropriate. And you can see those listed on down. And then at the very bottom, this was suggested by the legal advice that we usually take. And you can see the last paragraph, to the extent that the list above does not address a specific non-teaching professional administrative position, the superintendent and the board shall consider such positions lateral to other positions on the basis of the rank of each position in terms of title. Basically, that's saying we're going to look at contracts, we're going to look at titles, and we're going to look at the jobs and be as fair as we can be. And so that's why that was suggested that we put in there. So this is not a necessarily big policy change. It is a policy revision. And so it does not have to be posted and read 3 times, things of that nature. This is the most legally up-to-date version that we can provide that follows code to the best of our ability, and we have had our legal counsel check it out. So we ask that you approve these changes, and those will be made available as soon as we can get them posted.
Now, in a situation like here where it says the position high school principal shall be lateral to other high school principals, that wouldn't really affect Hampshire County in essence, would it? I mean,
it should never.
Because we don't, right now.
We have one, but you still have to post that stuff.
Right, I get it, okay.
Is there any other questions, or do I have a motion to approve the changes to the policy 4030?
I'll make the motion that we approve the revisions to policy 4030.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right.
Do you have an update for us, Mr. Collins?
Well, I think you've had an awfully good update tonight, so I don't want to talk too much. I just want to give you a little brief rundown of what we've been doing. Very busy day today. So I spent the day with Ms. Lips today. We've gone around to all 4 elementary schools. As I told you, we had our audits in all the schools now. Those have all been written. We plan to provide a copy of those to you for your review later on. That's not required, but I think you need to read them. Those are going to be for your private review at this point. We have shared that information with the principals. It's as positive as we can make it, but also with suggestions on how to improve. I think you can see the results of some of those audit reviews in the presentations you had tonight. The things they're presenting to you really have come out of some of those conversations, and some from prior to the audits. And so we're very proud of that, but the principals that we've talked with so far have been very appreciative. As we told you, this document as a whole is for the principal to use to help support the thought processes of their staff. You know, and so there are some things in there that are somewhat confidential about personnel, specifically the principal. That's why we keep that confidential, because that's not open for public review. And we don't pull anything from that. If there is a negative comment, it's in there. If there's a lot of positives, which we like, so that's good. But we don't pull anything from that. So we're in the middle of that. We're going to the middle schools and the high school tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get those knocked out of the way, so everybody will have had their audit, they will have their review, know what we're looking for, and then we schedule to come back in and do well, I'm calling it a hotspot check in February. We will not do a full audit again in February. I don't think that that's productive. I want the teachers to be working their tail off, and I don't want to interrupt them. But we are going to look at a couple things that we felt were concerns and double check them. So we'll probably do 1 or 2 schools a day to give you an idea, instead of one each day and take all day to do it. Right. This will be go in the morning, check a couple things, talk to the principal, head to the next school, same thing. So that's what it'll look like, all right? We're preparing for benchmark number 2, especially in elementary. We're about 2 weeks away from that window opening. And so I don't know that the board realizes this, but this is what we call our growth benchmark. This is where I put pressure on the principals will in turn put pressure on staff. What kids are really struggling, what kids are more advanced than we thought, what strategies have worked well, what have not, and really do an in-depth review of what we've done so far. And I only point that out to tell you, I made this statement earlier to one of the gentlemen that was here. He asked me how things were going, and I said, you know, I really had kind of a plan in my head, and I thought, you know, to be not quite halfway through the first year, I feel like I'm about 1.5 years in academically where I want to be. The staff and the administration and just everybody has been so welcoming and so willing to listen, and at the same time, we're the same way. We listen to them too, and we've all put the ideas together to come up with better ideas. And so we're going to continue to do that, so I'm very proud of that. One of those things, we've been meeting with Eastern University, you know, the community schools, or the community, what's the word?
College.
Yeah, community college, thank you, that's the word I was trying to get out. My brain is a little overloaded. But working with them to not only offer more things, but to, you know, we just met in this room last Thursday. And, you know, they have great plans, and they were talking, and I just kind of stopped them and I said, I'm going to tell you, we need to change how we address this, because every kid and every parent is going to be, what can I do? How can I make money doing that? And what certifications do I need for it? And if we don't answer those questions, they're not going to read anything. And so how we present it is going to make it more valuable. They totally agreed, and we're very supportive. So out of that meeting came a lot of things, including the idea of a Hampshire County Schools website that is all about what we offer and what opportunities you have as a student here, what it takes to get those certifications and trainings, and what it takes for you to go on and do that. Maybe in, for example, you know, to be a diesel mechanic, not necessarily go to college, but go to a diesel mechanic school, those kind of things, and have that as an option so parents and kids can go on at any time. They don't have to have advisory to do it. And I think the more we do that, the more they're going to understand. So pretty proud of that. Other than that, I'm going to say we've got a few recognitions next time. We've got some math field day winners we're going to recognize next meeting, so that's good. And then we'll go from there. But that's kind of a little rundown of what we're doing. And again, everybody's just, we're running till we got to go to sleep because we're tired. And that's about how it works. So I'm proud of everybody's effort. All right?
I had just a few things. Of course, me and Mr. Collett, we run down to Charleston and for 12 minutes. 12 minutes presentation with the school building authority. To say the least, it was intimidating. You go into a room that's basically $43 million, and we're asking for some money to help a roof.
It's probably a 12 by 16 room with 15 people around a big wooden table and a podium.
Yeah.
for us to stand at.
But I'll tell you, I felt like it went really well. We
Good.
got a thumbs up.
Good.
I think we're gonna say, well, we won't know until December.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we all went to the trainings. We just had a training over the weekend, and I wanted to pass some information on to you all. I had received an email this afternoon, from Mr. O'Call. If we could come up, I'm gonna give you all some homework, and I need it by Friday. If y'all could email me, up to 5 ideas, that you would like to see a proposal to the legislators. Okay? Yeah, within reason, okay? Because this year, the West Virginia School Board Association is working, and we are having a legislative committee.
Good.
So it's gonna be kind of a voice, it's gonna take some of the heat off of Howard, but will maybe be a little more effective within the legislators.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes, sir.
All 5 of you present. If you were to ask me what our biggest issue is, I say this respectfully of the legislature, I don't mean to be critical, but the legislature oftentimes comes out occasionally with declarations or mandates, but they don't fund them.
Nothing has a fiscal year.
There is a brand new code in place. I can't tell you the exact number, I have to look it up again. Well, I'm pretty sure it's Senate Bill 199. But in that bill, it says that we shall create elementary ALC scenarios. Well, the reality of that is probably a cost of $400,000 to $500,000 for our county, plus a location, to be able to fund that. And at the same time, find someone that will do that job for $30,000 a year. And a lot of those children, I'm not saying anything bad about those children, but those children have issues, and they are biters, they are kickers, they are spitters, they are slappers, they are kickers. They run. Those are all Safe Schools Act scenarios that 10 years ago, we didn't allow in our building in some fashion or another. There were other scenarios. So I do think there are ways to help that. I helped build one of those programs in Upshur County. It is being somewhat successful over there. I would love to start it here, but it involves an outside organization as well. We need a doctor, we need a behavioral therapist, most likely from outside. But our staff is looking at that every single day as something that is needed. And so funding alone to help that would be great. But they need to seriously look at that salary, because hiring someone on a teacher's salary and an aide on an aide's salary to deal with even 2 or 3 kids that have those issues, you're not gonna find anybody. It's very difficult to find.
Now, are these 5 things, that it's 5 things as us as a group, or 5 things individually?
Individual.
Okay.
Individual, and I'll send them all to Howard.
Okay.
No, I appreciate that, Superintendent. It's definitely, and it's, it has been brought up, and in just about every legislative, there's always talk of a multi-county facilities and ideas, and that's one thing that's been beat around, boy, couldn't 6 counties or 7 counties fund those positions at a much more attractive rate? How we get top-line people within what it would be to repeat that 6 or 7 times mediocrely. But, let's see, one thing also that we did learn, and it was tough to listen to, because it was just so many numbers and everything within these legislative ideas. Look for any ideas and plans that you may have to improve state aid formula. I know it was hard to understand. State aid formula is a tough nut to crack.
It is.
But if somebody had an idea, no matter how far out there, the best ideas sometimes go unheard. And then also in amongst, because we always, at these things we network. And I want to share with the group, and especially you, Mr. Fazell. I was talking to some counties, it's like, feeling the strain with the devices and technology. It's just how do we make sure that our students have up-to-date technology that's in good condition, but it doesn't break the bank, the proverbial bank, and then how do you set up for replacement? And, we're not the only ones. We're in a good way in comparison to some other counties, but there's definitely, this is something that's going out throughout the state. So I think there's a lot more minds than just us thinking about it. So I challenge you all to keep talking with everybody. But I'll be quiet, that's what I had, there's a lot that went on in that meeting, so I wanted to pass that all along to you. Everybody have good luck. Anybody who hunts, kill a big one. Anybody that eats turkey, don't eat too much turkey. Leave room for pumpkin pie. And,
Have dessert first.
oh, there you go. So, do we have any other else for the better of the good?
No.
Hearing none, I hereby adjourn at 7:40.